Hello everybody, and welcome back once again to emmavoid's Let's Play of Escape. So, first off, I'd like to note that weird buzzing sound you're hearing in the background isn't your speakers going dead or something. It's just really hot here, and so I had to keep the room fan running while I'm recording. But anywho, last we left off, the navigator was trapped in a dumpster after saving some maybe saving some kids from some creepy dude. And we had figured out a couple of the identities of the characters from the mud. Muck, I think it's a muck in this one. It's been a couple weeks since I recorded, so sorry. Anywho, let's go ahead and continue where we left off then. Cerebral network mind that. Up here there are no limits. Up here there cannot be. To think otherwise is to delude oneself the nature of what it is to soar within the blue. Up here, the blue is mother, father, and all relations. We bow to him and dip down through puffs of turbulence. We behold her glory and ascend to the far reaches of the infinite. The blue smiles as best he can, and she opens her invisible gates. We pass through in the knowledge that to worship so is but temporary. Yet up here, time is extended. Up here, each moment is an eternity in the embrace of the blue. Even when the sky is dark, gray, and full of hatred, there is always the blue beyond. Praise be. Huh, well, that was kind of spooky. Vortex! Alright, so head back to the muck. Farmhouse. Yep, we've been here. Other travelers nearby. Chase, Osmandius, Stone, and Jan. Right, so Jan was one of the ones that the navigator's been keeping an eye on. Oh, thanks, Osmandius. Osmandius elucidates out of character. Okay, before we dive back in, let's recap where we all were before the break. Osmandius is staring agape at the flush of cards that have spilled to the ground, one of which is face up on Barry with the image of a creature with coals for eyes. Barry is, by all accounts, unconscious from the blow. Jace is laying stomach down on the floor of the dark room after Rain rammed it open. She's currently on his back. Alright. Slap Jace out of character. Jace laughs. Yeah. Think are crushing your elbow into Jace's shoulder blade. It must be quite painful. Jace totally doesn't mind. Okay, Jace, that's fine. Osmandius elucidates. Curtains up. Stay in character, kids. From beyond the veil of darkness within the second floor room, a grotesque yowling surrounds the two travelers. Jace wrestles his way up. You spring to your feet, looking around in an attempt to see what lies before you in the room. Osmandius kneels down, one hand on Barry's forehead. Wake up, he mutters. I didn't mean... Oh. The card radiates a dark energy, beginning to dissolve into some volatile substance. Didn't mean... He reaches his other hand towards the face-up card, but reels back as soon as he sees the illustration. Oh, good. Osmandius cries out and quickly grabs the card. In the darkness upstairs, 20 glowing coals stare back from the dark. One begins to emerge, its rusty maw snapping open and shut as it slavers oil from between its razor teeth. You jerk backwards. This is definitely not good. Come on! You grab it, Chase, and start out of the room toward the stairway. Probably the best reaction, given this circumstance. I can't imagine wanting to stay in that room. Chase is hoisted up and away from the encroaching circle of monsters. He finds his own footing, also dashing out toward the stairs. The card that Oz grabbed away continues to dissolve, dripping down his palm into his sleeve. His next inhale feels rough, metallic. You tear down the stairs, you nearly reel over when re-emerging into the living room and see the scene before you. Oz, what the hell? You shout in a growing crescendo. Seriously, Oz, come on. Keep your stupid magic cards under control, dude. Jace struggles to catch up. Ozymandias holds out his hand, a blank look in his eyes. Card, he chokes out, desperately pulling back his sleeve, fearfully watching the progress of the dark remnants of the waxed material. Nifty. You quickly survey the scene, from the fallen berry to Oz's predicament, to the 52 card pickup or whatever it is. 51 at this point, judging by the sound of it. Jace, also assessing the situation, comes to a hastened conclusion. Rain, you get the cards. I'll see what I can do for Oz. You nod. Gather together as much of the deck as you can manage. You gather the rest of the cards with little wind gusts until the whole thing is assembled. Jace looses the water from his pouch, taking a sphere of it to Oz's palm. Ozymandias jerks his hand away involuntarily. Jace says, "Hold still, Oz. If there's anything I can do, I need you to stay calm." The water evaporates as it hits the black substance coating Oz's palm and wrist. It does begin to halt the flow, however. You know, I just have to pause for a moment to say, this music does such a good job of setting the scene. You can definitely tell that Lena Raine knows what the hell she's doing when it comes to music. You know, between this and Celeste, which was absolutely amazing, to be honest. You begin shuffling the cards, thinking out loud. Sure as hell hope this all works without Mr. Wizard pulling the tricks. Rain, come on, you're seriously gonna do that? That sounds like an awful idea. But might be the only possible option. The yowls from upstairs grow louder and louder. You hear the clank of claws begin to descend. Jace throws his glance back towards Rain. What are you doing? You continue to shuffle. These damn things got us into this mess, and they're gonna get us out of it. Oh, Rain. This'll end well. Ozymandias coughs out a weak "No!" and grasps at his sleeve like it's all he has left. You form up the deck, look at it anxiously. You glance toward Jan on the bed, Barry on the floor. Alright, Jan and Barry were the two that the navigator's been following. Oz and Jace nearby. Here we go, you mutter, before closing your eyes and drawing the top card. You slowly open one eye to take a peek. The card pulsates with a blue glow. On it, there's number 0 in the image of a swirling vortex. The walls of the farmhouse shake violently. The card pries itself from Rain's grasp, spinning into the air. More and more beasts begin to form up and tear down the stairway. The card twirls, opening into a gaping circular maw, the very image from the card. You nod. Alright, here we go. Jace gaped. Here we go. Do you even know where that goes? You say, nope, but it's our best option. 2 unconscious, 1 on the verge of losing his mind, us 2, and 20 really angry things about to make us very uncomfortable. Grab Barry, I've got Jan, and in we go. This is one way to go about it, I guess. Chase groans, lifting Barry onto his shoulder. He turns, making sure Oz is capable of moving on his own. Ozymandias nods. He grits his teeth, moving toward the vortex. You carefully lift Jan into your arms, look toward everyone to confirm the plan, then dash into the unknown. Where? The able exits out and vortex. Vortex it is. You leave toward... Oh, good. Navigator's log, 7th of June, 20XX. Ravishing renegades. Let's talk about drugs. I know, this seems like a non sequitur, but hear me out. You know the war on drugs? Yeah, no bullshit, it was a thing, and it all seems a bit silly these days. Pretty much everything illegal back then got legalized for legitimate uses, so the government could actually regulate appropriately and fund rehab centers and all that. It generally worked out way better than police brutalization. Ugh. I can only hope. But did it actually get people off drugs? The answer's no, but we'll work our way there. Reason this all comes up is, well, I'm stuck in this dumpster, and not a soul's been kind enough to let me out. Oh, Navigator. What they have been kind enough to do is provide me the juiciest mind dat yet. Not as good as TextKit, obviously, but when you're running low on oxygen in a condensed pile of trash, you take what you can get. So, I'm doing my best to recline, giving the lid a few kicks every now and again, when I hear shuffly steps coming down the street. Turns out that Perv and the Hulk that knocked me out aren't the only creeps to frequent the place. There's a bit of mumbling I can't pick up on, but generally what these kids say is some dumb shit I won't repeat about setting up a drug deal. Imagine the most embarrassing CSI-ass attempt at settling up some back alley deal, and you'll get the gist. Can't even see what these idiots look like, but I do know how hilariously their self-image projects their self-image. Dealer's got some weird anemic Morpheus look going on, whilst the buyer shows up as something straight out of some ancient JRPG. Blue hair and everything. Yeah, that sounds like about what I would expect. Makes me throw up in my mouth if we're being honest. What you got? Asks the buyer, to which the dealer just gives the smug look like, you know I'm fully stocked, bitch. Whatever, says this weeaboo, shuffling around a bit. Anemic Morpheus just sidles up to this guy, and I see the mind dat exchange request well before Weeb gets the notification. Look, I'm not an idiot, so of course at this point I'm trapped in this dumpster, but I absolutely have every subroutine running to tell me what I need to know about my surroundings. Thermal overlays, heart rate monitors, the works, all focused on these two assholes outside that will not let me out of this fly hell. At some point, Animorph gets confirmation from Weeb, and they enter into some mind dat metaphor of their exchange. Annie's just hanging out behind the counter at his cafe with a little paper menu spread out for Weeb to peruse. Now, me, being the nosy type, I tiptoe over and give it a little peek, metaphorically speaking. I'm not sure what I expect, but it's a list of oddly generic names with extortionist prices. Fly, bed, stargaze, jungle. One stands out. Verda, the Norwegian word for world. Seems fucked, but who am I to judge when there's someone buying a drug called bed? Because who even named this garbage? Anyway, things go to shit once Weeb makes his choice and Annie demands he pay in cash. The fuck? Says Weeb, and this guy's heart rate maxes out. I imagine he's feeling a bit played right now. The purpose of that stupid cafe mind dat is to dole out payments in daily lattes to cover the charge. No one demands cash, not when deposits and withdrawals are tied to your literal mind. So Annie is getting testy, Weeb's getting angry, and both are making accusations when that Hulk steps in. It's absolutely the same chunk meat slab that put me in this dumpster to begin with. I figure out what's happening just in time. After a brief skirmish, the dumpster opens. I grin up at them. Fuck, says Annie as the flies buzz out at him. The reaction is all I need to pop out of this metal coffin, plant my feet just long enough to tag the dealer, and get the fuck out. So like I said, let's talk about drugs. I've had plenty of time since I made my escape to think about it. And more than just think, I've been keeping Annie company as he makes the rounds. Guy doesn't demand cash out of everyone. Seems he's only an ass to the ones that tick him off. Rarely deals in alleys, too. Checks his calendar out from time to time, always hung up in his left periphery. His notifications are going off constantly. It's all scheduled out. He goes door to door, blue collar to white collar, business park to party bus. He hooks up some rich fuck in a penthouse suite and mentions the encounter with Weeb. You asked for cash? Yeah, shit, just for jokes. Gets all offended. Don't even negotiate, just all like, the fuck? Haha, the fuck. Bitch thinks he's all clever meeting in an alley like some fucking movie, so I give him the business. Fuck him. I also learned about his self-image, if only from a flash in a window. In reality, this guy's still got those dumb-looking Morpheus circle shades, but he's got a bit of a pudge about him, and he's not nearly as black or cool as his mind that implies. Which is fine, like, it's nice to want things. Of his drug array, Fly, Jungle, and Verda are the most popular, and the ones that bug me just enough to set my mind off. Readers, I don't think I need to tell you exactly why these eat at me, but just in case, Perv from yesterday had a very distinct sensation of flight as he offed those two kids. Yeah, that would explain it. And who knows what the hell a Verda is, but suddenly I get a very different mental image of what a jungle room might consist of back at Text Kid and Naked Kid's office. Ooh, that's, yeah, mildly concerning. You know that feeling when you've been chasing all this weird shit around, not exactly knowing how it all ties together, when all of a sudden the light shines through the fog and you see all these razor wires holding all the pieces together? I mean, I didn't expect you would, but that's exactly the feeling I've got. Especially as Annie finishes his rounds, kicking out at a wall and loads up his own copy of Fly. He arches his back against the wall, calls up the app on his frames, and launches straight into the air. His self-image soars about on black feathers, circling until he spots his prey, that Weeb from earlier. Annie stretches his talon wide, swoops, pierces him straight through the heart. Annie wakes up. App deletes itself from his frames. Dude's heart pounds like a thing that pounds real fucking fast. He's high as fuck. I guess this is the part where shit gets real. Navigator out. Oh, Navigator. I gotta say, I definitely like her. She's possibly my favorite character in this whole thing so far. See, retrieval network, mind that. Higher, higher, I want to go higher. Dad, please, come on. Okay, fine, here we go. Yeah! Woo! Haha! Look, you're flying, yeah! So, about what I was saying. Oh, right, everything seems to be going just on. Dad, higher, that's as high as you go, missy. Ah, come on. NDA still in effect. Yeah, you know how it goes, right? Right, sorry, I'm just really curious. Ain't everyone. You gotta get some time off for the summer. Ugh, I don't know, man. They're not so kind on non-holiday vacations. Man, that's bullshit. I know, right? Why can't they get spread out more? Yeah, serious. Hey, I wanna swing too. Okay, come here, both of you. And go. Yeah, yeah. This is so weird to be reading, like, just random... I don't know if it's thought processes or, like, thought processes combined with what people are hearing. That's sort of what it sounds like. Because there's definitely multiple speakers going on. You! Oh, good. This is probably gonna be a good one. Right. So where are we? Where did the vortex take us? Hello? Oh. You rub your head, you're dizzy and nauseous. Your temples ache. Your back aches. Basically everything aches. Remembering what had happened immediately before losing consciousness, you try to focus on the blurry shape in front of you. You think the collapsed form is Yang. His chest rises and falls. Good, he's alive. The fuck are we? Says a nearby voice. You look up and blink a few times to adjust your eyes. It's Jace. He's lying in a similar state a few feet away, getting his bearings. Barry is there too, sprawled out on top of Jace. That only leaves you think, but the thought completes itself as the tall robed one speaks up. We've traveled through the vortex, he states in his matter-of-fact way. To where, however, I cannot say. You look up toward Oz, spotting him crouched in the grass. You alright? You ask, perhaps too casually. Just moments before passing through, after all, Oz was gritting his teeth through unbearable pain as his hand... Yes, surprisingly, he says, holding both hands forward, their sleeves billowing about his elbows. One now looks a mess of dark steel. Where there had been well-manicured fingernails are now rusty claws. But your hands... Oz shakes his head. I cannot say this is an ideal transformation, but it seems that passing through the vortex halted it from spreading any further. Guys, interrupts Jace, perhaps feeling left out. I hate to, well, just look around you. Oh, okay, everything got darker and spookier. Like, all the way. And up. Ooh. As your vision begins to refocus, you find strength in your legs and begin to stand. Whoa. Slowly, you're able to place yourself within the world you've awoken into. What seemed like a grassy clearing, not unlike one in the home you knew, is in fact just a simple square park surrounded by hard cement. Beyond the wide streets of black stone, where, in a single-file procession, scores of mock beasts march, their red coal eyes glowing brightly. Even further beyond the beast are spires of burnished steel, reaching endlessly into the heavens. Above, the sky swirls with every shade of gray mixed together into a gradient that forever collapses in upon itself. This is extremely not Verda. Oh right, Verda! Huh. So what's the connection between the muck and the drugs? Weird. Oz struggles to stand, brushing his robe with his good hand. Obviously, he says, we have traversed through the vortex, likely into the heart of the mock beast realm. Perhaps the very location that Barry and Jan vanished to when we were attacked. You watch the beast's macabre procession with a cautious eye. So what? You get bit by one and you come here? It is as good a guess as any, says Oz, beginning to pace about. Jace is intent on staring out at the mock beast procession. We need to start exploring, he says, not taking his eyes off the beasts. You look down at the unconscious Jan and Barry. And just leave these two? You bend down over Jan and check his pulse. Normal. Ozymandias turns. Jace was right, he says. We will have to carry them again, but... As if on cue, however, the small pink-haired Barry begins to stir. She makes an adorable little yawn and rubs at her nose as her eyes flutter open. At once, she sits up and plops her hands into her lap. Barry, you say, launching at her with a hug. She laughs, then pulls away with a sudden confused expression. Wait, she says, who are you guys? Oz frowns. I am Ozymandias. Jace, says Jace. Rain, you say. Can't you remember? Her confused expression melts away into a toothy grin. Oh, yeah, I just wanted to make sure. She looks over to Jan and launches onto the comatose warrior. Hey, she yells, wake up, you sleepyhead. She pokes at his forehead. Quite unexpectedly, Jan opens his eyes. When he sees Barry gleaming down at him, a smile spreads across his broad face. He raises a hand to Barry's cheek, then motions with his head. She nods and leaps off, letting him stand. Well, says Jan, that was some nap, huh? Everyone stares, dumbfounded. Neat. Navigator's Log, 8th of June. Humble readers, I'm going to be completely honest with you. It takes a lot to surprise me. I know, that's usually bullshit when people say it. But look, you've been reading this log for a good 8 days or so. You know the bullshit I've been putting up with. You know I have very few reasons to lie to you when I have been laying out the collective fuck-ups we all deal with on a daily basis. I've seen a lot of weird shit in the past week. A kid that thinks in text, another that also works at a very important company. I've discovered some sort of black market of one-time apps that take advantage of Frame's ties to the unconscious mind. And somehow, they're all connected. Give me one of those. Fine. 2 of them. Yeah, cool. Just another day in the life. All 3? Honestly, I'm running out of words that aren't expletives. I've spent a lot of time thinking about all this. Didn't sleep. Don't sleep all that much, really, because without dreams, why bother? But that's not important right now. What is important is that I've been thinking about the info I've gathered. None of it's gone up for sale, despite how juicy it all is. Instead, I've been pushing everything out to you, dear readers, with the hope that someone picks up on it and clues me in. But I think I'm close. Let's break it down, one piece at a time. Text Kid. Why are they such a big deal? There's a very good reason that I freaked out about their mind app. Yeah, text, whatever you say. This is text, what I'm reading right now. And to that I say yes, it is. But these words? They're not my actual one-to-one thoughts, despite how spontaneous they sound. I mean, first off, I've done at least 3 editing passes. You know how, when you write, you hear yourself speak? Same thing, but it's not the same as visualizing text. It's audio, not words. The words you're composing in your mind are a collection of imagined waveforms coalescing into a word, a phrase, a sentence. Imagine saying something out loud. It manifests in your conscious mind just milliseconds before it emerges from your lips. On Frames, a similar process occurs, except your thoughts are transcribed via an app into physical words that type out one at a time. Lets you write way faster, but if you're shit with grammar, capitalization, and spelling, there's nothing that'll do you any favors. So Text Kid. Despite all this mind-to-text conversion going on all the time, no one thinks in text. Even in your memories, daydreams, lucid dreams, text blurs apart into the abstract. Try picturing a bottle of, I don't know, some beverage you like. The one that says, what on the label? Do you remember the label's text because you're remembering the letters themselves, or because you're remembering the abstract shapes that reform into those words? My bet's on the latter. Words themselves are exceptionally inefficient ways of transmitting data through the Serenet. Besides, subconscious just doesn't work that way. That is, unless the mind operates under very specific circumstances. Circumstances I'll return to in a moment. Naked Kid. There are about 3 things interesting with this girl. Her engagement ring, the fact she's engaged to Text Kid, and the company they both work for. Let's tackle the latter first. I've held back on this one until now. I'll be honest, I wanted to make sense of it first, before divulging something as juicy as this. The corp they work for? Joy Sun Industries. Not familiar with it? I won't blame you. It's operated under a number of other names over the years, has been bought and sold all over the place. But want to know their current parent company? Google. Yeah, the Google. Though really, what is Google anymore other than the vast conglomeration of everything that is the cerebral network? So, who are Joy Sun? If you're up to date on the origins of computing, you might be more familiar with Sun Microsystems. Hey, I know, well, vaguely know about Sun. If you dig deeper, you'll find that one of its co-founders was a man by the name of Bill Joy. Pieces coming together? Joy eventually left the company. Sun was absorbed into Oracle, and who the hell knows what happened to either of them. Long story short, Joy got really into what the future of computing was going to be. Namely, what role humans played in it. He theorized that in the future, which is to say our present, computing would be handled by means of nanotechnology and artificial intelligence, that humanity had planted a seed, and eventually it would be our own creations that took over. Needless to say, at the time, everyone was all like, yeah, okay, sure. A lot of nerds got really turned on by the concept, and a lot of research was put into Joy's ideals, but nothing mainstream ever came of it. Except this little company called Joy Sun. I don't know if Joy himself had anything to do with it, and obviously he's been dead for years, but clearly he was a big inspiration to whoever started up this group. Some of you may be asking, hey, what's up with the drugs? And I would correct you and say, one-time use euphoria-inducing application. And you'd say, hey no, let's make an acronym out of it, and I'd say, hey no, because it's all vowels and that would sound silly. So let's just refer to them as drugs. If you want to get cute, it could be E-drugs or I-drugs or whatever, but let's not, because there's nothing cute about them. These dealer types like Annie have a virtual portfolio of these frame zaps that run once and delete themselves afterward. It's shady as shit, because technically there's infinite quantities, right? Back in the heyday of smartphones, a few would-be entrepreneurs toyed with the idea of games that you played only once. You die, the app deletes itself, and you can't reinstall it. Ever. It made for an interesting social experiment, but the lack of reinstallation was the key to that concept's failure. By letting you install it over and over, you increase revenue exponentially. It's the same principle of arcades or free-to-play gacha nonsense, except instead of $1 for an experience that probably can't be classified as addictive, you charge a fortune for what is scientifically classified as euphoric. Run this all through a backdoor cerebral darknet for payment encryption, and not only are you off the grid, you're making fucking bank. But why? Let's put the pieces together. These corporations have their own internal copy of the cerebral network, which cannot be infiltrated unless tapped into through a backdoor. One that could possibly be used for billing encryption. Naked Kid walked past a door in Joy-san's office, labeled Jungle Room. Jungle is one of the euphoric experiences offered by Annie and his crew. Text Kid, who also works at Joy-san, was sending a mind dat that consisted purely of text. What was one of those words transmitted? Verda, yet another one of the drugs on offer. Here's my thesis. Joy-san Industries are creating drug-like applications, hiring dealers to push them, and raking in 100% of the profit to gain an upper hand in their field. How's that for a headline? The real fun will come once I sort out exactly why this scam is so fucking elaborate. I'll make my statement of purpose official, for all those interested. I, the individual known as the Navigator, intend to acquire copies of the one-time use euphoria-inducing applications produced and sold by Joy-san Industries. Once access to their darknet has been acquired via billing encryption, I shall then infiltrate the network in search of every piece of information relating to these applications and their purpose. Now there's a real mystery just waiting for a dramatic reveal. Only, I'm not going to do it here. Readers, our journey together has come to a sad and abrupt end. I know, it has all come and gone far too swiftly, and I'm sure you'll miss my condescending rants. Perhaps we'll meet again if another bout of juicy data comes my way. Maybe I'll perish in the attempt at retrieving the final clues in this corporate scandal. Maybe I'll just get fat and rich off the proceeds and never need to navigate again. But that's a big fucking lie, and you know it. I'll be around for a long time. Just dream a bit for me, and I'll be there, watching. Navigator out. Alright, well then. I'm going to say that's enough for today's episode. So, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure you like, subscribe, maybe leave some comments, or even check the doobly-doo if you want to send me some money to my PayPal or Patreon, or subscribe to my Twitter or Tumblr and maybe say hi. Above all, though, be good to each other, be good to yourselves, and take care out there. Bye, everyone.